Hello, Mrs. Mazur. It's Thursday, and I'd quickly like to present to you my Morrie aphorism project. For this project, I chose the aphorism, "Love is the only rational act," and to pair with that nicely, I chose a quote by none other than William Shakespeare, a writer with just a little bit of experience. The quote reads, "Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind," which I felt was very appropriate considering that the mind is often a symbol of logic and rationality. Now, moving on to the song that I chose, a song by the Beatles, "Love Is All You Need." It seems that, aside from its face value as love, it seems that looking a little bit farther into it, we see almost rag on modern society, something that Morrie often did. It says, "There's nothing you can do that can't be done." And I think that's a very strong, powerful line. And it often, I believe, characterizes the nature of our everyday lives. Or the hubbub, the irrationality, the loveless acts. And that is what I felt connected between the two. Now, as for the poem, I chose a poem by Emily Dickinson, "I Cannot Live With You." And while she does express despair for not being able to live with her lover, that is part of love, and love, especially losing love. However, not once in this poem does it say anything about regret, which we often use as a measure of irrationality, even whenever we were little kids. Think about it, if mother said that was a dumb thing to do, usually there was at least to an extent irrationality, there was regret associated with it. And the fact that there is no regret associated at all with her love is truly showing that it is a rational act. The only rational act, that is. Moving now to Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, although seemingly a cliche figure by now, I analyzed him not for the love he had during life, but the love that he left behind after death. Nelson Mandela is a strong figure throughout the world, and he even got the attention of America, which is saying something considering that we are often a unicultural, for lack of better words, and wrapped up in our own lives, something that Morrie again railed against for lack of better words. And I believe that looking at the love that Nelson Mandela left behind, we can draw many parallels between him, Morrie, and the aphorism. He will live forever, truly, in his love that he left behind. And I believe that even if he inspires one of our next leaders, one of our next activists, that he has proved love is the only rational act. Moving now to an article that I found that was rather sad, yet interesting, to the fact that there was a Nevada school shooting by a 12-year-old. And you may ask, how is that relevant to the quote? However, if you read the article's title, it reads, "Teacher Hailed a Hero for Trying to Stop Nevada School Shooter." So yes, while that teacher being a hero and saving the students, yes, that was, I would say, a rational act, and one out of love especially. However, look at the irrationality of the shooter. A child who can go out and shoot and gun down people on school property obviously comes from a home of little love, an environment which is not nurturing to love. Therefore, it is truly prevalent that love is the only rational act, because I believe this article exemplifies what happens when love is not present. Lastly, I would like to present to you my image, which is an image of the most Sacred Heart of Jesus, which in the Catholic tradition, which I am obviously most familiar with for some apparent reasons, the most Sacred Heart is associated with the life of Jesus, symbolic of the life of Jesus, his love, and coming back to him spiritually. So, whenever we look at Jesus, we can look at him for, yes, his religion, his religious love, his saving of the soul, but I believe some people, as you had stated earlier, that, yeah, some people believe that religion is irrational, and I believe even the faithful think that religion is irrational. However, we do believe. That doesn't stop us from believing, although the irrationality sometimes is apparent. That being said, Jesus, as a purely historical figure, talked to the lepers, the outcasts, the people who become school shooters. And for that reason, I believe that Jesus showed us all that love is the only rational act. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas and a relaxing break. Thank you very much for your time, Mrs. Mazur. It is much appreciated.